The building is 2 stories plus an attic, no basement. And it's one of the few brick buildings in Missouri that's this old and almost in its original condition. It's considered one of the best examples in brick of the Federal-style architecture in Missouri. It was the first school in Florissant. It was a day school, a boarding school. The sisters also had orphans for several years. And for a few years, it was a school for Indian girls. When the Jesuits came and settled several miles from here, in 1823, they opened a school for Indian boys. And the Sacred Heart nuns also opened one for the Indian girls. But these children were so homesick for their families who were being pushed farther west onto reservations that they would get up in the middle of the night, crawl out the windows, and try to find their families. The Jesuit priests were spending so much time going after them and bringing them back that they realized that if they wanted to work with the Native Americans, they would have to go to the reservations, which they did, and the Sacred Heart nuns did also in 1841. This was also the first noviceship of the Society of the Sacred Heart in America. Within the first year of their arrival, young American girls began presenting themselves as candidates for religious life. Some from nearby villages and others graduates from the school. Philippine lived here a total of 14 years, which is longer than she lived anywhere else in America. She was here from 1819 to 1827, and then in 1827 she moved into St. Louis to open the first school there, which we refer to as the Old City House. She was there until 1834, and then she returned to Florissant, was here until 1840 when she returned to St. Louis. Then 1841 to 42, she was with the Potawatomis at Sugar Creek, Kansas. And from 1842, 1852, she spent those last 10 years of her life in St. Charles. Florissant was always very dear to Philippine, probably because of its poverty and its simplicity. And when there was danger of closing the school because of low enrollment and not enough personnel, in 1846, she wrote several begging letters to Mother Barra pleading that the school remain open. At one point she said, if only I could go there with one other person and we could be a religious presence and I could teach religion to the children, because without us they will have nobody. Finally, in 1846, June 5th, she wrote the last letter on the subject. And it's a long letter, and in it she talks about all the reasons why if Mother Barra has heard that this religious order or that religious order is going to be able to come and open a school here, don't count on it, because they have so much to do with the other ministries that they're involved in. And she closes that letter with these words: "Forgive this long letter. I count on your kindness. If you refuse my petition, I shall submit, but I shall never be reconciled. The wound is too deep." Well, the school was closed, but the next year, in 1847, the Sisters of Loretto came, reopened it, and have continued even to the present day.